Some of the greatest games of all time have had the words Red or Fall in the name. Think about it. Red Dead Redemption, Fallout, Titanfall, Pokemon Fire Red, Dishonored. Damn, that really went full circle. So let's mention the clown in the room. Is Redfall a part of this list? No. No, it is not.
Aww. It's terrible to say, but I'm glad she's not here to see what's happening to Redfall.
I wish I was her. Upstairs, upstairs, upstairs. It's a Lumiere. Bro, you are getting your ass beat. Yo, stake that bitch. You see that, Ted?
Yo, that's so perfect.
There's nothing wrong with liking a little penis.
Finishing this game on midnight difficulty was one of the worst experiences of my life. Not because it was hard, but because it was genuinely so excruciatingly boring. 12 hours of pumping through long loading screens, terrible still frame cutscenes, still frame ethereal skeleton lore cutscenes that are basically in the game that you have to watch. It's just ridiculous that someone would sign off on all this baloney. The gameplay elements were fun for a little bit, mainly because the AI was so broken that you could just kind of like abuse it, or also just watch it and observe the hilarity at how bad this game was made. For example, some AI would just run away from you. Why are you running? And then just magically glitch through a wall. Others would be teleporting around. And for a company that helped make Dishonored, these are some of the worst stealth mechanics I've ever seen.
Is there someone that...
One sec. Where'd she go? That guy's T-posing!
What is this guy? This guy's stuck on stupid?
Look at him! He was feeding off him and he's T-posing. What the hell is going on? One of the biggest annoyances of the entire game was whenever you finished a mission, there would be a sidebar that would pop up. Anytime that would pop up on the side, you'd have to hold down the escape button for at least 1 to 2 seconds. And if you didn't do that, it would just infinitely be there. Is he gonna be able to do anything, or is this just gonna be a big old cheese? Hey, figured it out. Nice. Haven't I seen you from somewhere? The one thing I will say is that whoever designed the map has an explosive fetish. Every area on the map is littered with gas cans, explosive barrels, shock combustions, and every vehicle on the map might as well be a nuke. Oh, shit! Christ.
Seeing spots.
You just witnessed an underboss fight. And while we're on the underboss fights, you need to kill 3 of these dudes, retrieve their skulls, and then put them on this altar, which allows you to go into a main boss fight. Woo! That's sick! The Hollow Man had goofy goober mechanics, Bloody Tom had 2 attacks the whole entire boss fight, and Miss Whispers, I don't even remember what she did because it was so forgettable. Wow, that looked like shit. And right when I was on a roll, punching through every insufferable enemy that this life-draining game threw at me to reach the final boss fight and put an end to this waterboarding equivalent of a game, I get a server auth error. What the fuck? This was it. I was freed from Redfall's clutches. No longer will I have to torture myself through this peanut brain game. Also note that this game has to be online at all times while you play solo. Like, who came up with this hollow skulled idea? But then Arkane Studios did the funniest thing imaginable. They got me back on the servers to finish the game. Now, before I ruin your day and describe this boss fight, consider subscribing. And if we get 25 likes on this video, I will consider playing on the hardest difficulty of Redfall, which is the Eclipse mode, and torture myself all over again for your guys' entertainment. So, hit the like button. Thanks. Now, I'm going to describe this boss fight to you like you're a baby, because that's probably who presented this idea to Arkane Studios. We start here. The boss is invulnerable in the middle. They are tethered to 3 separate petrified vampires. Once you untether them, it does damage to the boss. Untether all 3, and you win the game. Sound like the most trivial boss fight you've ever heard of? Because same here. It's like their intention was, let's make sure our fan base, or what's left of it, never has a dopamine rush while playing. And then another person was like, that's the worst idea I've ever heard of. We'll make millions. And they just signed off on it. And you would think that the second phase would happen after all of the untethering, but nope.
No more darkness.
You leave the boss fight room, walk into the light, then another still frame splash art cutscene plays. Oh my god, let's see him.
That's not what I was.
I can't.
There's still path left to tread.
Which gives you the idea that they're cooking up a sequel. Why did you do this? Here's my last 2 cents. I don't think it's the worst game I've played, but it's definitely the worst AAA game I've come across. All of this I presented to you in the last 6 minutes, and I don't even touch on the connectivity and optimization issues, how the game was capped at 30 FPS on the Xbox One. This is an Xbox One exclusive, by the way. And releasing this as a $70 finished game, which is absolutely insane. If this was made back in 2008, it might have been fine, but you're backed by Bethesda and Microsoft, who have millions of dollars to make a great game. And it seemed like all of that went into marketing a mediocre dumpster fire of a game that's still in beta. If the outrage of gamers wasn't enough, Phil Spencer, the CEO of Xbox, even said in an interview recently about how disappointed he is with this release, which should tell everyone, don't buy this game.
Shit must be real embarrassing. You're sick.
Couldn't have said it better myself.